Hello there. I want to talk today about mental well-being and to ask you the question, what do you have in place to make sure that you look after your mental well-being? Over these next few weeks, I'm going to be giving quite a lot of thought about how we might pay more attention to how we look after ourselves. A friend of mine who is a GP told me recently that up to a third, if not more, of the patients that he sees on a daily basis come because they're struggling with their mental health. And those are just the people who make it as far as the GP surgery. What about the rest who maybe don't feel it's quite got bad enough to go and see the GP and yet, if they're honest, struggle with their mental health? For many of us, I think there's still a stigma around admitting that kind of vulnerability, which is so sad and so wrong, and yet also, sadly, I still think so true. And that can stop us being honest about how we really are in terms of our mental well-being. I wonder how you are. This time of pandemic, research has shown, not surprisingly, that the mental health of the nation has struggled more than ever. And I think sometimes Christians can be the worst at admitting when we struggle with our mental well-being. I don't know why. Maybe we fall into the trap of kind of believing, well, if I really trusted in God, then I wouldn't feel anxious, or I wouldn't feel down, or I wouldn't feel depressed, or whatever it may be. That's so wrong. That kind of belief, that thought process. We're still human, and God knows that we're human. I wonder if you've ever thought, why did Jesus talk to his followers about how to deal with worry? He talked about it because he knew that as humans, they would worry. Why did he talk about what we do with grief and lament? He talked about it because he knew that there would be times when we grieved, and it's so often, isn't it, that times of grief can lead us into times of struggling with our mental well-being, understandably, totally understandably. So for today, I simply want to say to you, or ask you, are you honestly able to admit before yourself, before God, and before maybe a trusted other person, how you really are? Whether that be that you're saying, actually, I really am honestly doing well, which is great, and I celebrate with you for that. Or whether it's that you honestly say, actually, no, I am struggling at the moment. And I expect for most of us, we would say that. Partly because of all the restrictions and the ongoing exhaustion that so many of us are feeling with the pandemic. And then in the weeks that follow, what I'm then going to want to do is go through 10 keys that have been shown to be ways of helping people to improve their mental well-being. They're known as the 10 keys to happiness. And they've become summarised in the letters that make up the words great dream, but each letter from those two words, great dream, stands for one of the keys. And I'll be going through those in these next few weeks. But more of that next time. For today, just ask yourself the question, how is my well-being? And if I'm struggling, am I able to admit that to myself, to God, and to others? Who is it that you trust well enough to be able to admit that vulnerability to? I hope you'll be able to identify somebody, but I hope if you can't immediately, then you'll know that you can come to us here at church, and we will always find somebody that will be willing to listen and to help you to know that you're loved and accepted for who you are as you share something of who you are. God loves you for who you are, and we want to support you as you make that journey too. God bless you for today, and I look forward to talking more about this next time.